The night was thick with an impenetrable fog as Sarah navigated her way down the desolate highway. The dense woods on either side of the road seemed to close in, casting eerie shadows in the moonlight. Sarah, a young woman traveling alone, was making her way home after visiting family. The only sounds were the hum of her engine and the occasional rustling of leaves in the wind. As she drove, the mist seemed to dance around her car, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Despite her efforts to shake off the unease, Sarah couldn't ignore the feeling that she was being watched. Her eyes darted nervously from side to side, searching for any sign of life in the dark woods. Suddenly, she saw a figure on the side of the road, a hitchhiker, thumb outstretched in the hopes of catching a ride. Against her better judgment, Sarah decided to stop. The hitchhiker, a tall and mysterious-looking man with a weathered face, climbed into the back seat without uttering a word. The chill in the air became palpable as Sarah resumed her journey. They drove in silence for what felt like an eternity. The only illumination came from the headlights cutting through the thick mist. Sarah stole glances at the rearview mirror, where the hitchhiker's face seemed to flicker like a ghostly apparition. Unease settled in the pit of her stomach. Then, without warning, the hitchhiker vanished. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she slammed on the brakes. Panic set in as she searched the back seat, finding it empty. Fog outside seemed to thicken, wrapping the car in an impenetrable cocoon of mist. Haunted by a sense of dread, Sarah continued driving. Strange things began to happen. Unexplained whispers echoed through the car, chilling her to the bone. The temperature inside the car dropped drastically, and the headlights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the road. As she pulled over to collect herself, a cold hand touched her shoulder. Sarah shrieked and turned around to find the hitchhiker sitting in the back seat, his eyes hollow and dark. His voice, calm and unsettling, echoed through the mist. "You shouldn't have stopped for me. Now you're part of this endless journey." The mist enveloped the car once more, and when it cleared, Sarah found herself alone on the highway. The hitchhiker had vanished, leaving her trembling and haunted by the mystery of the vanishing traveler. The whispers lingered in the air, a ghostly reminder of the otherworldly encounter that would forever haunt her dreams. The relentless rain pounded against Mark and Lisa's car as they drove down a desolate highway in the dead of night. The fuel gauge hovered dangerously close to empty, and exhaustion weighed heavily on their shoulders. As luck would have it, they spotted a weathered sign on the side of the road pointing to an isolated motel, the Silent Haven. The neon sign flickered eerily as they pulled into the gravel parking lot. The exterior of the motel looked like a relic from a bygone era, with faded paint and cracked windows. Despite the unsettling vibe, Mark and Lisa, desperate for rest, decided to check in. The lobby of the Silent Haven was dimly lit, and the air hung heavy with an unspoken darkness. An elderly woman with hollow eyes sat behind the front desk, her gaze fixed on the couple as they approached. She handed them a rusty key without saying a word, her expression devoid of emotion. Their room, located at the end of a long, dimly lit corridor, felt like a forgotten chamber frozen in time. The wallpaper peeled away, revealing layers of neglect. Lisa hesitated, but dismissed her concerns, attributing the eerie atmosphere to the remoteness of the location. As they settled in, Mark noticed an old photo album on the dresser. The pages were yellowed, and the photographs depicted people with hollow eyes, identical to the receptionist. Intrigued and unnerved, they flipped through the pages, discovering a tragic swings creaked in the wind, and ghostly children with hollow eyes swung aimlessly. Terrified, Mark and Lisa retreated, realizing they were trapped in a place where time stood still. Back in their room, the shadows in the paintings seemed to move, telling a tale of sorrow and despair. Whispers filled the air, recounting the tragic night when the silent haven became a haven for lost souls. Desperation set in as the couple tried to escape, only to find the exit doors leading to endless corridors. The ghostly laughter of children echoed around them, and the walls seemed to close in. In a final, terrifying moment, the motel swallowed them whole, leaving behind only echoes of their terrified screams. The storm raged on as Tom, a weary truck driver, maneuvered his way down a desolate highway. Rain battered the windshield, and the wind howled like a mournful specter. Fatigue weighed heavily on Tom as he peered through the cascading water, searching for any sign of civilization. Suddenly, he spotted a figure on the side of the road, a hitchhiker, soaked and shivering in the relentless downpour. Compassion overcame caution as Tom pulled over, offering the stranger refuge from the storm. The hitchhiker, an old man with hollow eyes that seemed to see into the depths of Tom's soul, climbed into the cab without uttering a word. The rhythmic sound of rain on the roof filled the cab as they drove through the storm. Tom tried to engage the hitchhiker in conversation, but the old man remained silent, staring ahead with an unsettling intensity. The air inside the truck thickened with an unspoken tension, and Tom couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. As lightning illuminated the old man's face, Tom caught a glimpse of eyes that seemed to hold the weight of the ages. A shiver ran down his spine, but he dismissed it as a trick of the light. The road ahead twisted and turned, the rain creating a distorted dreamscape outside the truck's windows. Abruptly, the hitchhiker spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the unknown. "You've entered my world, where the living and the dead collide. You cannot escape." Tom's grip tightened on the steering wheel as the truck seemed to plunge into an otherworldly darkness. The road transformed into a surreal landscape, a ghostly realm where shadowy figures moved. Ghostly apparitions appeared at the roadside, their eyes hollow and vacant. Tom, paralyzed with fear, watched as the hitchhiker transformed into a wraith-like figure, wisps of darkness swirling around him. The truck barreled through the ghostly landscape, and the air became thick with the cries of lost souls. Desperation clawed at Tom as he realized the boundaries between the living and the dead had blurred. Ghostly hands reached out from the mist, and ethereal voices whispered tales of sorrow and regret. In a moment of terror, Tom slammed on the brakes, bringing the truck to a screeching halt. The hitchhiker vanished into the mist, leaving Tom alone on the haunted highway. Trembling, he continued his journey, haunted by the ghostly encounter and the realization that he had crossed a threshold into a realm where the living and the dead intertwined in eternal darkness. The echoes of the haunting hitchhiker's words lingered in the air, a chilling reminder of the thin veil that separated the world of the living from the realm of the unknown. If you find this video bone-chilling, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Your support means everything